Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in today's video, we're going to talk about this guy here. Everybody knows him. He was highlighted. This is the SGT Report, and they run a bunch of stories that even other people put out. So that this guy here is Alex Newman, who Sean at the SGT Report is promoting this article that Alex wrote, Censoring Climate Truth as Climate Crisis Becomes New COVID. Now, the interesting thing about this is all propaganda censors climate truth, okay, including independent truth media, and I say truth with air quotes around it because no independent journalist media will tell you the actual real, environmental truth, as I put it. And that that includes everyone, including Alex and Sean from the SGT Report. Okay, here is all the emails I've sent to Alex because Alex even interviewed me and would not run the interview. Right here, I did a search for Sean at SGT Report, and I don't even think it's all the emails that Sean's on, because searches never show up all of them, but this is a bunch of emails that Sean is on, asking Sean to tell you, the real environmental truth, which is that all environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds. Starting with Gore, all the way up to Greta, and everyone in between. And, I'm not talking climate hysteria. I'm not global warming. Is it real? I don't know. Honestly, nobody does. Do I think it's real? Um, I, I don't know. Let me see. The troposphere, where all global warming happens, climate happens, life happens, okay, where Earth's natural greenhouse effect happens that traps heat and makes Earth a livable planet, along with a few other conditions, happens in the troposphere. And that extends 5 miles over the poles and 10 miles over the equator. And every gallon of gas you burn emits 20 pounds of carbon dioxide, the leading by volume greenhouse gas. Okay, so there is no question that we're not emitting a lot of carbon dioxide every day. Whether that's creating the climate hysteria or not, I don't know. I know that the climate hysteria is climate hysteria. And if it were actually real, why are all the people, out there promoting the hysteria, refusing the solutions and creating the situation? Because they've all refused the solution since November 93. Now, at the end of this video here, Alex calls for, he's like, I mean, we've got to silence these people. We've got to, here, this is just the paragraph. It says people who speak out against man-made global warming hypothesis and even so-called solutions to this alleged crisis are being silenced and censored as the deep state shifts from using COVID as the pretext for global tyranny to using climate change, warns New American Magazine senior editor Alex Newman. And from rigging Google's algorithm to promote UN propaganda and criticism of the agenda from the internet and social media, top deep state globalists are now out in the open with their agenda to silence all who question this and disingenuously promote their narrative. Faked fact checks promoting the lies, squelching the truth, are proliferating. This is illegal and extremely dangerous. The deep state's tyrannical agenda to controlling the narrative must be exposed and stopped. And so tonight, in an email to Alex and Sean, I tell them, yeah, well, the way to do that is to do your job and expose them. I say at the end, you say this in the article, you say we need to shut down these climate lunatics. Well, expose them, Alex. It's pretty simple, just like everything. Once you expose them, you're just out there. Climate. Oh my God, climate. They're fanatics. They're lunatics. They're crazies. Okay. Well, all of you journalists omitting a huge amount of relevant facts that could shut these people up and silence them and have Gore go home and we'd never see him again. We'd never have to listen to Greta again. People you had in your video, we'd never have to listen to them again. And what does James O'Keefe say about omitting facts? Well, let's listen to him.
On this latest travesty, we just want them to tell the whole story. When it comes to serious reporting, omission of facts can be just as dangerous as outright lies. We here at Project Veritas believe in truth and telling the complete story.
Right. As I've said before in many videos I've done about how fraudulent O'Keefe is in saying that he exposes everyone and a million other things. I guess that is if you will expose the story, because I wouldn't be concerned about Alex Newman and Sean at SGT Report and everybody else if, James O'Keefe would go out there and do his job. That'd silence everybody overnight. I have friends, especially when I lived in Vail, and I would have to go speak to the town council and Vail Resorts when they had combined meetings and try to shut them up because they claimed they were environmental and they're not, And I'm like, just shut up about it. Either be it, okay, be what you say you are and actually lead, or, tell people what it is you're doing that you make sound grand, but put it in relation to what you refuse to do so people have perspective that you're doing beyond remedial and Mickey Mouse while you're preventing the light years best the world needs, or just shut up about it. But, because they had all the power, it was just funny to them and they didn't have to shut up about it. But, there were times when I'll tell you how I finally got the town of Vail to shut up about it. Was I went to one meeting and I said, do you know what word you look up in the dictionary that means with intentional deception? And the town council's looking at me, and their lawyer was actually sitting to the right of me, and he was in my ski locker room too. And I would crack up all the time in the ski locker room with everybody, cracking jokes all the time. And the lawyer had a locker right behind me, okay, and he always wanted to get in on it. You could tell, but he just wouldn't break that line between he's the town lawyer, even though I'm so fun, when you actually know me. Anyways, so he was sitting to the right of me and I was like, Tom, and he just looked at me too, and I said, fraud. I said, you are with intentional deception selling Vail, environmentally based on fraud to lure consumers to buy your product. And that's how I finally shut them up. But I do a very good job of shutting people up, especially when they're globally exposed. These people would shut up. But will Alex and Sean do it? No. Here's the email that I sent them tonight. Censoring climate truth. SGT and A. Newman is equal to SGT and A. Newman and all independent truth media, all the propaganda, and you can see what I wrote here. I'm like, you guys, global warming and climate change is irrelevant. We have one livable planet that we know of, and I remind them at the bottom, it's amazing how people who preach God have exactly no respect for the biggest thing he gave us, which is a livable planet. And, do I know if God's real? No, I don't know. Nobody really knows if God's real. You can believe all you want, but nobody knows, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll find out. But I live my life responsibly and respectively, and I have respect for the livable planet that allegedly God gave us. But these guys, Sean and Alex, and most of the people in the independent media, they're out there preaching God all the time. But because, they have no global warming is not real, man, and these people are just climate hysterias. I'll tell you what, I listened to this video here that Alex put out, and I listened to Alex and Greg Hunter, who won't give you this truth either. Greg was like very insulting to me, actually, and gave me a religious test. I swear to God, I could show you the emails, a religious test. Like, and he actually went crazy on me when I kind of said something to him like, he's out there preaching God too, but then they have no respect for the livable planet that we have, that allegedly God gave us. But, I tell them to do their job, and I tell Alex it's long overdue that we redo our chat, because here we go. Here's the emails I've sent to Alex. Okay, now here's the first one I sent. Here's my message, and I'm like, hey, Alex, blah, blah, let's talk. Okay, you can see it here. And he immediately replied. Now, this was my email was February 1st at 9:40 p.m. Okay, and he responded February 1st at 1:40 p.m. That's got to be something with time zones here, but oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He responded at 7:22 p.m. We're in different time zones, but he said, "Thanks. I just asked my assistant to schedule an interview for you." I was like, "Oh my God, did this right? This might really be my break. Maybe Greg Hunter will talk to me. Maybe Sean, Mr. Open-minded." I tell Sean that in here, right? You know, I tell Sean here, Sean, it's long overdue for us to have our first chat, Mr. Open-minded that you proclaim you are, and you are, right, until you disagree. Have you ever heard, Sean, when someone won't believe in God and they just won't give an inch? They just won't believe. But, Sean's Mr. Open-minded. He doesn't give anybody else the right to think what they want if they don't agree with Sean. But, you know, but you should, because he's so open-minded and thinking that everybody should agree with him. But if he was open-minded, he would be presenting this truth. And so Sean isn't the Mr. Open-minded that he's always proclaiming he is. Just FYI about that. Okay, but here on February 3rd, Jan Morrow, PR and admin for Alex Newman. Now, she gave me, we talked, so I called her for a discussion, and we had a couple of long chats actually, and she was, very supportive, and just telling me that I need to just like, remarket myself. I'm like, I'm not even branded. No one will allow solutions. All I need is for somebody like Alex to do his job and to expose the fraudulent environmental voices and get actual real solutions. I mean, does Alex and Sean really not think that their audience doesn't want to know that everybody from Gore to Greta is a fraud and that they're preventing all this good? We could have already solved these problems and we wouldn't have to be listening to these people. Okay? And what's the matter with leading the world with hemp? Nothing. Nothing. But are Sean and Alex, any other independent truth media going to tell you? No. But then Jan scheduled a meeting. We're going to be talking at his time, 3 p.m. on February 4th. So, because Jan was like, Alex wants you to know that he's not in agreement with you. And I'm like, Alex doesn't even know what I'm going to say. And I'm actually in agreement with Alex. I just have truth that needs to be told about all these people that Alex criticizes, okay? And so I told Alex a little bit about that in here. You can take a look at that. But thanks. Look forward to our chat. Thank you, Alex. So that was February 3rd, 2021. And then after our chat, I truly thanked him for being the first to help expose all the environmental frauds. Not even independent media will, blah, blah, blah. And then thanks, Eileen, exclamation point from Alex. Then I waited a while because the interview didn't get loaded. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to think anything of it till they load another interview and go past mine. And they did. And, I said, my heart sunk a bit yesterday when I saw your new interview loaded up, skipping mine. And Alex replied, thanks, Eileen. Unfortunately, my editors were not as pleased with it as they could have been. Uh, you know, unhappy face here. Let's revisit this in the not too distant future. Maybe we can pick a few key topics to focus on. Okay. Well, you lifted my spirits a bit, but you know, okay. When's it gonna happen? I'll revisit it anytime. So, yeah, I told him to let his editors know what would please them and what is off limits, because I believe in the truth and free speech, and a lot of editors don't. But I also thought that Alex was the senior editor, so I don't really know who his bosses are. I'm a little fuzzy on that, but so then on March 5th, I'm like, just wondering what timeline for soon is when he said we should revisit this soon. Thanks, Eileen. Not sure yet, but we'll see. I appreciate your efforts. Okay. Well, you know what? It would be great to put the efforts into actual work that achieves. So the sooner the better. And yet still, we're waiting for Alex Newman to get around to telling you this truth. And so on January 27th, this is 2022, I said, hey, now that you're on Brighteon, you could expose all the environmental voices of preventing solutions frauds. Let's do this for your kids, Alex, and humanity. Maybe. Thanks, Eileen. Doing my best. Nothing about, hey, yeah, let's get this to let's get this truth to the world. I was like, well, nice to hear from you. Let's do this. And nada, nothing. What do they say? Crickets? Crickets from Alex. Mr. I'm out here, talking about the climate crazies and talking. You can listen to this. It's 19 minutes long, but I mean I listened to it while I was doing something else, kind of, and there's nothing I heard that I'm like not right there with Alex. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Until you get to the end when he's like, we need to silence these people. As a matter of fact, let's find that. Okay, so we'll just listen to a little bit of Alex at the end here.
And this is just a start, folks. And they are now using climate change as a pretext to do the same things they did to us during COVID, but with just a new excuse. And you cannot even ask questions about these things without getting a giant boot on your face forever. We need to recognize the implications of this, folks. These are the things that are literally being used to justify global totalitarianism, and you can't even ask questions. Okay, this is insane. This is absurd. We must find ways to resist this. States have started taking action against efforts.
So, the biggest way to resist it is the business that Alex is in, which is exposing frauds. He's in the news business. Okay. Alex needs to expose this information. He needs to expose Greta's a fraud, Gore's a fraud, and everybody in between, including the United Nations, are frauds. And they have prevented actual, real solutions that the world needs, whether or not, Sean and Alex want to believe in global warming or not. The ocean garbage patch is real. The toxins, that people put into their body. I'm like eliminating the toxins that get into humans. that many independent journalists sell products to detox humans from, but the solution is not putting toxins in the environment, and you do that by living responsibly. But will they give you that good information to, take care of the God that they preach planet? No, not even as journalists. They will not expose all of these frauds. Because maybe Alex just doesn't want to have a conversation about all of this responsibleness because he's just too busy telling you that, the climate crazies out there are censoring climate truth from you when so isn't Alex. And Sean. Okay. And Sean too, Mr. Open-Minded from the SGT Report. And, along with every other independent media out there. Alex Jones, James O'Keefe. We'll go through more of them. But right now, for this video, this is the truth about Sean, having the audacity to run this article, and Alex Newman still being out there censoring a hugely relative, important climate/environmental truth from you that would, stop all of the ridiculousness that these people are trying to impose on you. And by ridiculousness, the tyranny, like he says. Okay? So, again, as, I tell them, this is long overdue. Let's redo our chat. And now we'll see if Alex remains silent, and I don't expect anything else from Sean because he is not Mr. Open-Minded. That is for sure. So stay tuned, people.